Do you get your 50-50? Yep.
Across Canada,
Fun for you. Enjoy the game.
at arenas like this one, junior hockey players are pursuing their college and NHL dreams. But they're doing it amidst a Hockey Canada scandal. Usually what goes in the locker room stays in the locker room.
Hi. Hey. Yeah, grab a spot.
But these 19 and 20-year-old players, Travis Hensrud, Davis Fry, and Dawson Milliken, have agreed to talk to me.
You know, eyes on you, right?
Yeah, sure. Everyone knows everyone.
Yeah,
It's a sensitive topic, the alleged abusive and misogynistic behavior of some hockey players.
So my name's Brock McGillis. I was a hockey player.
Brock McGillis is a gay former hockey player who's teaching young men about acceptance and respect and the damage of homophobic slurs.
If the language I heard made me, self-harm and try to die, imagine the impact that the language has or the bullying has on somebody who doesn't have all that I had going on.
This is part of special training the Manitoba Junior Hockey League mandated for each one of its teams.
Before you know it, it keeps spreading. Your entire team starts using it. All your friends start using it because you are influencers.
How hard would it be for someone on a team like that to be able to push back and say, you know what, this is not right. We shouldn't be doing this.
It takes a lot of guts for a guy to stand up, but when you do, that your voice is loud and other people will follow with what you say. Usually it takes that one guy to speak up and create that culture of, listen, we're not going to do that.
Do you think that the locker room has changed?
I think when I was younger, there was obviously more of people didn't really care what they said. And now I think we're older and know the consequences.
Everyone has a goal to reach, just to become a better person and individual every day, on and off the ice.
Guys hold each other accountable for what they do say and just treat everyone how you want to be treated, basically.
In the dressing room and in the community.
It's your turn. Is that your serve or mine?
Taquito mix.
This is not just community service.
We'll come here in December and do like food hampers.
It's meant to get players outside their insular hockey bubble, pushing them out of their comfort zones. Head coach and GM Paul Dick took some time out from hockey to talk to us.
I want to just read a quote from the Minister of Sport. She said, a re-envisioned Hockey Canada must develop not only exceptional athletes, but also good citizens who respect women, the public, and the law. What are you doing here to achieve that goal?
Yeah, well, I think respect is huge. When we have our initial meetings at the beginning of the season, it's a word that comes up a lot. Having respect for one another in this room, first and foremost, and then for people in our community of different, age and genders and race.
And when they leave here to play in those big tournaments that they all hope to play in and that you've coached in, whose responsibility is it at that point to make sure that they're behaving and that they're good ambassadors for the sport and not hurting somebody?
Yeah, for sure. In 2015 at the World Junior A Championships, our team won the gold medal. And after the fact, we knew there was going to be a celebration, but we also gave them parameter on what this tonight was going to look like for them. And who was going to be involved. We're in a community we do not know anyone. This should be a players only event. And where we checked in every so often. So, the players, yes, they're 17, 18, 19, and you expect them to make good decisions and make the right ones, but that's a collaborative effort.
Who do you think, is responsible for changing the toxic parts of the hockey culture? Because that's come under a lot of spotlight lately.
Yeah, well, I think everybody needs to play a part in that role. I mean, one, it's parents, and sometimes athletes have been not held accountable for their actions, and that starts at home often. But in younger coaches as well, and sometimes the better players, when they say things, well, there's not accountability because he might score 3 goals for us that night, and they can't be given any special treatment, in my opinion.
The Pistons aren't the only team dealing with these challenges.
Blue line center and then the far blue line.
Okay, and hold same side and then go.
In British Columbia, we meet Ian Devlin.
There you go, finish strong here, last one, last one.
Devlin is the captain of the BC Hockey League's Coquitlam Express. He wants to be a good role model to kids coming up through the system.
You need a certain level of maturity to be able to deal with some of those heavier conversations, but I'd say for sure by the years of maybe 13, 14, as hockey really starts to ramp up and, kids start to get more intense, parents start to get more intense, the whole hockey world seems to really start, closing in on you. They really need to forge, a solid set of values and beliefs by that age, because by the time you get to junior hockey when you're 16 years old, it's just an entirely different dynamic.
In order to be a good teammate, to be a good player, to be a good human being is following all these things, whether it be your
Tally Campbell has seen the ugly side of hockey from the bench as a coach.
And the entitlement and kind of the wrong things that were happening, the disrespect that some of the players would have for, fans in the stands.
Now, as one of the youngest GMs in the BCHL, he's tackling that from the front office.
It really is like having 23 kids every single day. You're always trying to manage the on-ice part, you're trying to manage their academics, because a lot of them are still in high school or getting ready for university. You're managing them being away from home, so a lot of homesickness. And you're managing a 16, 17-year-old who's going through a maturity piece too, right? And they're just trying to learn themselves as well through this whole process.
And they can be used for
learning through talks like this one.
I think you have more influence on Canadian culture than NHL players. You're in every community in Manitoba. Adults worship you the same way as they do NHL players. So do little kids.
Do you feel pressured by that, or how does that make you feel?
I think it's a good pressure to have. I mean, all the kids ask for autographs after the game, and it's kind of put a shift on my view of things, and knowing that all these little kids look up to you and they pretty much think you're the NHL and you're their hometown team.
I used to love my junior team. They're my heroes. I saw them being kind and doing good things. I would most likely pick up on that and be like, hey, those are my heroes. I want to do good things.
Hometown team, hometown heroes. The pressure of influence, for bad and for good. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Steinbach, Manitoba.